Hi everyone, my name is Lorraine McGee and I'm a chapter mentor with She's the First. I'm hoping we can get started in just a minute. I'm just making sure that the Q&A is available. Okay, it looks like we should be good to go. So if anybody's watching this right now and wants to submit a question through the Q&A, I'm more than happy to answer it. So I'm just going to wait a second to see if anyone wants to ask any questions to start and to see if we get a few more viewers as we get started past 7:30. All right, everybody. So what I'm going to try to share with you now is a presentation that I made for our Google Hangout today. All right, here we go. So first, I'm just going to introduce myself to you for our Google Hangout about getting started on campus with She's the First. So my name is Lorraine McGee. I was the founding president of the She's the First chapter at American University. We started the chapter back in 2012 when I was a sophomore, and I served as president for 3 years until I graduated in 2015. For the past year, and now starting my second year, I've served as a chapter mentor for She's the First, working primarily with high schools in the Northeast. So if any of my chapters are on this call right now, it's been amazing working with you guys. I absolutely love being a chapter mentor because it means that I get to do things like this and share what I love about She's the First with so many incredible campus advocates. So if anyone's viewing right now and wants to submit a question, just so I can make sure that the question box is working, feel free. So a little bit more about me. I now teach 3rd grade in Natick, Massachusetts, which is my hometown. I actually teach in the same classroom that I went to 3rd grade in, which is really cool. And just a few different ways to reach me. My email is lorraine.m@she'sthefirst.org if you have any questions, or you can find me on Twitter at @meetmissmcgee. So today what I'd really like to do is share my top 5 tips with you for getting started on campus. And I'm hoping that these tips are things that could work for you, whether you are a brand new chapter to She's the First, or if you're just a new campus leader. Although if you have led in She's the First before and you're just looking for more ideas for getting started this year, that's awesome too. I'm hoping that these tips will work for you as well. So tip number 1 that I have for you today, and this comes from a lot of conversations I had with She's the First leaders in our Facebook group and over email, is set a goal or set 3. And my advice for you would be to set an awareness goal, a fundraising goal, and a chapter growth goal. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what those might look like for your campus. I think if you set a goal in each of these areas, you have a really good starting off point for planning your semester. So Rain at American University suggests as an awareness event, you could start a documentary screening or some other low-key event on your campus that could reach a large audience, but is a low commitment for a new chapter that's just starting out. So if you set an awareness goal that's something that you'll be able to achieve in your first semester on campus, like some small awareness event or some way that you can spread the word about girls' education, then you'll be in a really good place to keep going with your campus network throughout the fall. So if you set an awareness goal, some other ideas could be hosting a documentary screening or having a teacher come and speak to your group about girls' education, or inviting people in to watch some YouTube videos about girls' education and what our impact looks like around the world. A fundraising goal could be to have a low-key fundraiser. Again, Rain at American suggests having a cupcake sale that ties in really well with our Bake a Change campaign that happens every fall. And again, it's an event where if you can get cupcakes donated or something similar, it can be a low commitment from a group that's just starting out, but can have a really big impact on your campus and reach a lot of people. So once you've set an awareness goal, once you've set a fundraising goal, and for those I recommend just choosing 1 or 2 events that you'd like to have in your first semester, another goal to set would be a chapter growth goal. And this could look different based on whether you're a new chapter or a chapter that's been around for a while and you're a new student leader. If you're a brand new chapter, a great goal for you, especially if you're on a college campus, would be to get officially recognized by your campus. So I know at a lot of universities that you have to go through a process of writing a constitution, creating a team, and making sure that you have all your paperwork in place to start your chapter on campus. That's definitely a great chapter growth goal to have if that's the situation you're in your first semester on campus. Another chapter growth goal that you could have if you're a new chapter would be to totally solidify your e-board system. I know a lot of chapters start out with a president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer, but you might decide that you need more or fewer people on your e-board based on what your campus chapter is going to look like. Maybe you'd like a VP of engagement to work with your members, or a VP of fundraising to decide what events you're going to do. So solidifying what your e-board is going to look like could be another chapter growth goal for your first semester on campus. Another goal could be creating a welcome packet that includes an information form for members to fill out, a calendar of important events, and a list of your e-board contacts. Creating a welcome packet is something that you'll use semester after semester, so that could be a great goal for you to get that done in your first semester on campus. Another chapter growth goal could be having a bring a friend night for a She's the First meeting so that you can get more people involved in your campus chapter. So once you've set an awareness goal for yourself, set a fundraising goal, and set a chapter growth goal, you can move on to tip number 2 for getting started on campus. My second tip for you is to use your voice on your college or high school campus. It's amazing what we can do when we realize what power we have to spread the word about things that we feel passionate about. So I have a few suggestions from other chapters and from chapter mentors that you can try in your campus. So Kara's chapters, and Kara is one of our chapter mentors, have decided to use their school announcements and school newspapers to spread the word. Especially in high schools, this can be an amazing way to spread the message about She's the First. Once you've scheduled your first meeting, it's a really good idea to make an announcement on your morning announcements at your school. If you're in college, the equivalent might be something like an event newsletter that gets sent out to your campus. I know at American we had something called Today at AU, where people were able to submit events that were going on around campus. And we use that to spread the word about our first interest meeting. That's one way that you can use your voice to spread the word about She's the First on your campus. Kelsey, who's another chapter mentor, recommends participating in club fairs on your campus. You see these a lot at colleges, but maybe at high schools as well. Club fairs are a really great opportunity for you to get out there, spread the message about what She's the First looks like on your campus and the important work that we're doing around the world. If you need advice for what to have available at a club fair and different information to pass out, I definitely recommend posting in our She's the First campus Facebook group. A lot of the student leaders in that group have done many club fairs and would have a lot of great advice to share with you. And just a reminder, if you have any questions about any of this, please feel free to submit a question in the Q&A box on this Google Hangout. They're showing up to me as I speak, so I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Another creative way to spread the word about She's the First on your campus would be to visit different classes. This may be a little bit easier in colleges, but it could work in high schools as well, especially if you have study halls or some free blocks in which you could go into different classrooms and tell students about She's the First. So you definitely have to reach out to teachers and advisors first to ask if you can be allowed to come in to talk about She's the First. But a classroom setting is a really great way for you to captivate a big audience of usually about 20 people and tell them all about what She's the First is and how they can get involved. So if you have the opportunity to visit some classes at your university or at your high school to tell them about She's the First, I definitely recommend taking advantage of it. Another way to use your voice on your campus is to use social media for good. So one of the first things that I'd recommend you do once you know you're going to be an official She's the First chapter is to set up at least a Facebook and an Instagram. I know that a lot of our She's the First chapters have more accounts, such as on Twitter, Pinterest, they might have a blog, but I definitely recommend setting up at least 1 or 2 accounts. That's a really important way for you to share what She's the First is with people who are looking into joining your organization. So definitely once you've set up those pages, send the links to your mentor. Your chapter mentor can help you grow your network by sharing those links with other campus chapters in your community. sharing it with the She's the First campus team so that we can like your page and see all the amazing stuff that you're up to. And your chapter mentor can like the page themselves and comment and spread the She's the First love. If you're wondering what to post on Facebook and Instagram when you're just starting your campus social media pages, or if you're a new leader that's taking over, I would definitely recommend reposting inspirational quotes, things about girls' education, that there's something for people to see when they come and visit your page. A really good place to go for this would be the She's the First Flickr account. There are guidelines for using the photos on Nation Builder, so if you log in and look in the FAQ, you'll see what we have to say about posting She's the First Flickr pages. And the main thing to go by is just make sure that you credit the photographer when you post a picture from our She's the First Flickr page. So those are a few ways for you to use your voice on your campus to spread the word about She's the First when you're just getting started. If there are any questions, please feel free to submit them again in the Q&A box. I don't think we've gotten any yet, but you can go ahead and submit one if you have one. Or if you have any comments or ideas you'd like to share, I'd love to hear those as well. Tip number 3 out of the 5 that I have for you tonight would be to create your She's the First family. And this is a really important one. It's really hard to just be one person who has a passion and a mission that they're really, really engaged with. But it's so much easier to spread that passion on your campus when you find your She's the First family. And what I mean by that is you need to find the people on your campus who really share your vision, people who are passionate about the same thing, who are willing to work really hard to spread the word about She's the First on your campus. I definitely recommend reaching out to friends who may be involved in the same sorts of things that you are, reaching out to people who you met in your classes who you think might be interested in the cause. The first thing that's very important is to find the people who really share your vision on campus. And once you have those people, you probably have your e-board members. Those are the people who can really help you get off the ground on your campus and start spreading the word about the amazing work that She's the First does around the world. My second tip is definitely make new members feel welcome. This is a really important one. There's an amazing document that you can find through Nation Builder and through our Google Drive about member recruitment and retention tips. And I definitely recommend reading that document as soon as you can. It's super, super helpful when it comes to recruiting different members and trying to retain them on your campus. And I'll share just a few tips with you about that. Allison, who's a chapter member at TCNJ, recommends doing a social early on in the semester so that new members can get to know people who are returning to your chapter, or if you're a new chapter, so that interested members can get to know your e-board and the people who are starting off your chapter. If you're in college, you might want to do a lunch in the dining hall or dinner. In high school, you could even just ask people to sit together at lunch one day or hang out after school or something like that so that new members can get to know returners, and you can sort of start putting names to faces and making sure that you make your new members feel comfortable. Another really important thing at your first meeting is to collect contact information and make sure that you acknowledge everybody who's come to your meeting in some way, whether it's through an e-board member, talking to them, following up, emailing them later on. When people feel like they were valued at your first meeting, they're far more likely to come to your second meeting and your third and the events that you put on campus. Some great ways to acknowledge people if you are in college would be if you're allowed to make door tags to put on people's doors in the dorms. That's a great way to acknowledge new members. At American, we made She's the First American tags and put people's names on them and hung them up on their doors after our first meeting. And it really made people feel like they were a part of a movement, which was so important and a key way to keep them returning. If you're in high school, you could see if you can do the same thing, putting it on people's lockers. Another option would be to send a tweet to new members. Definitely collect their Twitter handle at your first meeting so that you can send them an encouraging message and thank them for showing up at your first meeting. Another way to highlight your members and make new members feel welcome would be to do a member spotlight on social media. And She's the First campus mentor, Amanda, really recommends posting about a member of the month or member of the week on social media so that that person can feel like they're really valued and your members can feel like they can really have a role in your chapter. Another piece of advice for making new members feel welcome is definitely to give them a job right off the bat. When people feel like they're valuable, they're far more likely to return and have an impact in your events and in your meetings. So even if you ask somebody to help you sell cupcakes one day, or you ask 3 people to put up a Facebook post about your next meeting or something like that, once members feel that they've played a part in your mission, they're far more likely to feel like they're really making a difference and like it's worthwhile to be a part of your She's the First chapter. My last bit of advice under tip number 3 is definitely to grow your campus chapter family over time. And this is something that definitely takes time. By the time I graduated from American, our chapter had grown, I think, about 7 times from what it was our first semester. But it really was slow going to start out. And I don't want that to discourage people who are just getting started on their campus, because even if you have a really small group, as long as you're really committed and doing great work on your campus, you're making a huge difference with She's the First. So while growing your campus chapter family is important over time, it's also important to maintain your own passion and keeping that small core group of people who wants to make a difference. Once you think it's time to grow your campus chapter family and grow your network on campus, I definitely recommend having a bring a friend night. At one of your meetings, if you ask everybody to bring at least one friend, you've doubled the impact and the audience that you have at that meeting that day. And everything you say, the different things you plan, go twice as far. So if you have a bring a friend day or meeting or night, it can really inspire new people to come and check out She's the First and hopefully stay on as members themselves. So my fourth tip for you tonight is definitely to make connections. And this is one that I hear again and again and again from chapter mentors, from high school campus leaders, and college campus leaders as well. And the first thing I would say is connect with other people on your campus, especially if you're in college. There are often so many incredible groups doing so many amazing things. And She's the First, when it's just starting out, you may find that there are other organizations on your campus that have similar missions. I know that we partnered with a lot of sororities and Greek life organizations to help us get our first few events off the ground. We partnered with women's rights advocacy groups. We partnered with Girl Scouts in our local community. We made connections with different organizations that had similar missions to what we did. And chapter mentor Patty says something very similar. Find those organizations that have those similar missions, because they will really help you amplify your voice. You may find people that belong to those organizations who want to join your organization as well. And that's really great when you can find people who are already using their passions on campus and can help you use your passion as well. Another tip is please, please, please reach out to your chapter mentor. We love, love, love staying in touch with you guys, hearing about the successes that you're having, and also answering any questions that you have when you're struggling with something or you just want to bounce ideas off of us. Sonia, who goes to Cal State Long Beach, recommended on Facebook, don't be afraid to ask for help, whether that means asking somebody at your school, like an advisor, or a more veteran campus leader. Ask your chapter mentor for sure. Ask in the She's the First Facebook group. Any questions that you have can be answered by somebody in the She's the First network. And if we don't know the answer, we can find somebody who does. So it's really important to make those connections with your chapter mentor, with other people in the She's the First network, and with other people on your campus for sure. My last sort of bit of advice for making connections is really get to know the campus network. And this goes along with the last one. Join the She's the First Facebook group. Stay active in it. I can't tell you the number of times I wasn't even looking for anything in that group, and then a notification popped up and somebody had just posted the most incredible idea, and it was something that we were able to bring back to American's campus and put into action as well. So you'll find inspiration in the She's the First Facebook group even when you're not looking for it. So I highly recommend, especially if you are a new campus leader, check that every single day. See what people are saying. Ask questions. Participate in the conversations. Comment on a thread even if you don't have an answer to somebody else's question, because then you'll get notifications when people comment with answers, and they may help you as well. definitely use the Facebook group. Nation Builder is an amazing new resource. It's just incredible that She's the First has been able to get that off the ground. Having a one-stop shop for everything She's the First is so incredible, and I definitely recommend going to Nation Builder whenever you have any sorts of questions. Another way to get to know the campus network is making sure that your chapter is participating in our Global Awareness Program, or GAP. That's a great way to sort of increase your own knowledge around the issues that women and girls are facing around the world, and increase your knowledge of how we can help. And I think it's really amazing that our She's the First members can come together to learn about these issues, bring their own diverse opinions to the table, and really become educated on the issues facing women and girls. So definitely make sure your chapter is participating in GAP. It's also a great way to get to know other campus leaders around the country. My last tip for making connections and getting to know the campus network would be definitely participate in the Pen Pal program. Writing letters to scholars is such an amazing opportunity that we have through She's the First, and it's a way for you to really feel connected to our mission. I know that when we meet here at our universities and high schools in the United States, we can sometimes feel really removed from what's going on around the world, but the opportunity that we have to connect with scholars really allows us to see what a difference She's the First is making, and it's a really incredible opportunity. So definitely get to know the campus network through joining the Facebook group, reaching out to your chapter mentor and other student leaders, writing letters to pen pals, and connecting with other people on your campus. And one of my last tips for you tonight is just have fun. Your passion is what really makes the magic happen with She's the First. It's really incredible how people can come together from so many different colleges and universities and put such incredible things into action to make such a difference with She's the First. I think it's really amazing what we're able to do when we work together. So definitely enjoy it. Enjoy the process. Share your successes with your chapter mentors. We love to brag about what you guys are doing. We love to share it on Facebook and Twitter. We love to connect you with other chapters. And we love to share resources with you about our own experiences and the experiences of other student leaders on She's the First campuses. So have fun and enjoy. I'm wondering if anybody has any questions. Please feel free to submit them under the questions box. You can also share your ideas in the Facebook group. Like I said, I can't recommend that enough. It's just an incredible opportunity that we have to connect with people around the globe who are really working towards She's the First mission in different countries. So definitely connect on the Facebook group. You can send me ideas anytime on Twitter at @MeetMissMcGee or via email. And thank you so much for everything that you do for She's the First. I really am just amazed every single day at what high school and college students around the country are able to do and what an impact they're able to make on their campuses. So I know we have a few people who just tuned in. So while anybody's writing a question in that Q&A box, I'm going to just scroll through my tips one more time for you. First tip is set a goal, or set 3. Set an awareness goal, set a fundraising goal, and set a chapter growth goal. If you have a question, it would be awesome to post it in the Facebook group. I'm not sure that our Q&A tool is really working right now, but I am logging into Facebook to see if that will help. And let me take it back to me so that it won't share my screen with you. Hi, everybody. So I'm logging into Facebook right now, and I'm definitely there to answer questions if you have any. And I also wanted to just thank all the amazing chapter leaders and campus mentors who have reached out to me in the past few days with so many tips for getting started on campus. It's been amazing to hear what incredible things you guys are already doing to spread the message about She's the First in your communities. So really quick for you again, my tips for you and takeaways would be set goals, dream big, set a fundraising goal, set an awareness goal, set a goal for growing your campus chapter, and think about what you want to accomplish in your first semester. And there's definitely a balance between dreaming big and having these big grand ideas for what you want to do, and also setting small tangible steps that you can reach along the way. things that you know you can be successful in on your chapter so that you can have somewhere to go from and somewhere to reach towards. So I'm checking the Facebook group to see if we have any questions. And if not, you know where to find me. Other tip, just use your voice for sure. You have such a powerful voice. And I thought that She's the First gave me a voice for so long, and it really did. It allowed me to use my voice in such an incredible way. But it was only once I started trying to spread the message about She's the First that I realized how many avenues I had for spreading my passions, how many different ways I could reach out in my community and use that voice for good, for change in the world. Definitely create a She's the First family on your campus and also through the She's the First network around the world. Make connections with chapters around the country, with other people on your campus who are interested in similar things, and have fun along the way. She's the First is such an amazing organization, and it's such a joy to be a part of it. All right. How do we connect with other chapters nearby? So that's a really good question. I would definitely recommend reaching out to your chapter mentor if you want to connect with chapters in the area that you're in. All of our chapter mentors are, like, we have chapters in the same sort of region. So for example, I work with high schools in the Northeast, and I know where different chapters are located. So I've had chapters in Massachusetts reach out to me looking for other chapters in Massachusetts, and I've been able to connect them along the way. You can also always take a look in our She's the First Facebook group, and people comment with where they're from, what they're up to. It's really amazing if you're close to a bigger city. You'll often find that a lot of universities in one area have stuff going on. So I know that I found other campus chapters just by typing it into Facebook and seeing if She's the First at whatever university or whatever high school was the thing. So connect with those chapters online for sure. And in Nation Builder, you'll also find the campus directory, and that's a great place to go when you want to see where we have She's the First chapters. And there are so many of them that I guarantee there is one that you can reach out to, even if it's not within driving distance, maybe one that's somewhat nearby so that you could partner on something or partner online for an event. If you have a rivalry at your school with another high school or another college, that can be a really great way to do some competitive fundraising on your campuses, or partner for different events and show that when we have a shared goal, we can have things in common and come together. So I'm definitely checking Facebook to see if we have any more questions coming in. But thank you so much to those of you who have tuned in tonight. I'm sorry that our Q&A box didn't seem to be working, but it was really great to share some tips with you. I know this will be recorded so that you can watch this presentation another time, and I'm happy to share my slides about my tips for getting started on campus. And I'll just wait another minute or two to see if we get any more questions coming in on Facebook. Oh, another idea, just thinking of this, for if you're looking for a low-key fundraiser to have towards the beginning of a semester, especially if you're on a college campus. I know one event that we did a lot at American was we would do fundraisers through different restaurants. So we looked for nights when a restaurant would be willing to give us 10% of their proceeds or something like that. So we'd sign up for a night like that with that money to benefit She's the First, and then we'd invite all of our new members and returning members to come to the restaurant that night. So it was a really awesome event because it was kind of like a member social. We got to know one another. We got to chat with new members and with returning members, but we also were able to fundraise on the same night. So that's a really great way to combine an awareness event with a fundraising event at the same time and get your semester kickstarted on campus. And Katie Riley is telling me that University of Tennessee is doing a fundraiser and social soon. And there's an event in Nation Builder for it, so you can definitely check when different events are going on in different campuses. Some other restaurants that I know have done this in the past, California Pizza Kitchen has given quite a bit of the proceeds from a certain night to, she's the first one we've had fundraisers there as well. I know Ben & Jerry's does a fundraiser night. Jason's Deli does a percentage night. And it's really cool when you see different restaurants that are willing to partner with you on campus. That's another great thing to try if you're trying to have an event on your campus. Sometimes you'll find restaurants that are willing to donate food, especially cupcakes, for your meetings and different events and things like that. So that's another tip for how to kick off your semester. All right, so thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It's been awesome to chat with you guys. Definitely check out the other Ask the Expert panels in different months about different topics. I know we have some amazing chapter mentors who have so many great ideas to share with you guys. I know that tomorrow Katie says she's sending out the link via email and my slides, so you can look forward to that. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me on Facebook, on Twitter, or via email. Thank you so much, everybody, and have an awesome night.